a memo from heaven. So you can theme it Memo from Heaven. When I saw this memo from heaven, the angel had written, time is grace and grace is time. Time is grace and grace is time. Now in Joel chapter 2 verse 23, let's go there. Very powerful scripture we use all the time. I'm just telling you a memo from heaven. There are 3 things I want to just touch on quickly. It will help you this year. Be glad then, ye children of Zion. Go to verse 24. The floor shall be full of wheat. The fat shall overflow with wine and oil. Next. Then it says what? Now look at this language that the Bible is using. I taught this 2021, January, thereabout, about the locust. The canker, the stages of the canker, caterpillar, palmer. I listed it to you. You say? What Satan comes to steal or attack. But look at the language that's using here. I'm using the same scripture, but look at it. It says, I will restore the years to you that the locust has eaten. The locust ate the plant, not the years. The locust didn't eat your years. It ate a plant. That means there are so many things about you that is connected to your life and your years. Deuteronomy 20 says that the tree is the life. I think verse 7. The tree is the life of a man. Deuteronomy 20, go there. Verse 19, what do I say? The tree of the field is man's life. So the tree that you see there. So he's saying that when the locust came to eat the leaves and ate the branch and ate the fruit and ate the trunk, man's life was, his years were going. I'm going to say something so that will help you again. Can I say it? Yeah. Can I say it? Yeah. Okay. Now, when Adam was created, Adam was not created to die. Adam was created to live in everlastingness. But the sin of Adam began to make his years count. So from the day Adam sinned, the days begin to count. So now from that day onwards, Adam lived 930 years. That means that if there was, and even in that dispensation, Adam died before the flood came. If you check it, 930 up to the time of, he saw Enoch for about 200 years. That means that what God designed, Adam begat Seth. Seth begat Enosh. Enosh begat. The prophecy in their names was how God designed Adam's life to be. So that Adam should have existed at the time of the flood of Noah. I'm going to say something to tell you something. But Adam's sin reduced the opportunity to participate in that operation. So that absence has denied him inheritance in the next life. That's why Satan is not afraid to kill Christians. Because the shortening of your life that is contrary to God's plan can also reduce your rewards in heaven. What it means now is this. After you were born again, he left you on earth to work a work only time can afford. Because angels, though they are in eternity, don't have time. Time is not, I'm not preaching on Psalm 91, but there's something he spoke about. There's something called long life and length of days. It's 2 different things. Long life is growing to 90, 100, 120. But length of days means whatever you do, it spans your years. It continues in your children's years. So Abraham has something called length of days. Because in all of God's dealings with Israel, he said, remember your father Abraham in Isaiah. And Abraham is not around. Even in the Gospels, when Jesus appears, there's a location in heaven called Abraham's bosom. That means that even though he's dead, his days are still being lived on the earth. So when we say length of days, how will your life be told after you die? Will there be impact that will make people say, this man talk? You see, Paul has length of days. Because after Paul's death, everyone who is working the new covenant talks about Paul. That's length of days. So even when you have left, you are still influencing a generation. That's what we call length of days. Proverbs 3, when he spoke to Solomon, he said, wisdom, when he embraces you, and Proverbs chapter 8, right hand is riches and honors, left hand is length of days. It's not longevity, length of days. And influence. And you saw, he didn't embrace the left, he embraced the right. So he had riches and honor, but length of days was shortened. Why? There was no one richer than Solomon, but there was somebody who became wiser than Solomon. So even Ezekiel 28, he says, Daniel didn't say Solomon. He says Satan is wiser than Daniel, not Solomon. Solomon took over. And even when Jesus came, he said, greater than Solomon has come. That's why I said, wisdom is profitable. Can I tell somebody a story today? Some of you, your life is not designed to be celebrated in this lifespan. If you don't understand time, you'll think that all your life is a car, a good marriage, and you would have wasted the blessing of intention that God brought you to the earth. What did Peleg do? Tell me, what did Peleg do? Bible says in the days of Peleg, the waters were clean for the nations. He was just a calendar. He did nothing. His name was just a reference in a calendar. In the days of Peleg, waters were separated. This is how you live life. When you live life like this, no surface estimation, no Instagram comparison can matter to you. Because there's coming a time, somebody will encounter a book you wrote that nobody celebrated in your lifetime. After 100 years, a generation will appear and they'll say they read a book of Elvis, they read a book of Prof. Nana, they read a book of Leg Bell, and that book transformed their generation. And that's how God designed it all along. It was not designed that you be celebrated in your time. You'll be celebrated after you have died.
For more of our messages, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel at Ephesus Gathering.
Your years has your car. Your years has your houses. Your years has your children. Your years has your babies. But you see, Satan will let the locust eat it without you realizing it's being eaten. Because remember what I taught you, the leaves is your prayer.